Unbelievably, a simple herb sitting you might be pushing too much in your kitchen. It sounds like sugar is being taken out of your blood. It's more than a little too wonderful to be true. And other research is supporting what traditional medicine has millennia of knowledge. Some plants can aid in blood regulation, sugar, and shield you against the type of chronic harm that results in type 2 diabetes. And the greatest thing is that most of these herbs are not costly or difficult to locate or difficult to utilize. You don't have to follow a special diet, cut everything off, or starve yourself. You only need to add a few things that you appreciate. Clever little habits that come naturally to assist your body in doing its intended function. To maintain equilibrium in this video, we will examine 5 herbs that aid in the removal of much sugar while simultaneously promoting long-term vitality, brain function, and even joint strength if you're over 55 and wish to maintain one independence, physical activity, and mental. Never has eating been more incisive, more significant than it now is, and certainly one of these herbs is virtually certain to be already in your house. So take out a pen or simply take a seat and unwind. We're going to walk through this together in a single, easy step. One herb at a time, and if you happen to nodding in agreement or adding, "That's me," please spend a moment at any time throughout this video to press that like button. It truly is a moment to press that like button. Does make this message more effective. People like you are the best. Cinnamon's calming effects are more than only a topping. Muesli or toast is among the most investigated. The effects of herbs on reducing spontaneously occurring blood sugar, particularly in elderly people whose systems have evolved to become increasingly perceptive with time, which makes what makes cinnamon so amazing is its capacity to increase insulin sensitivity, which entails that it improves how well your cells react to insulin to prevent your body from having to pump out an increasing amount of it in order to get the work completed over time. Elevated insulin levels degrade your system by making you feel more exhausted after gaining abdominal fat, meals, and provide the conditions for elevated blood pressure and even dementia. Cinnamon, here's how it breaks that cycle. Operates within your liver and muscles. Cinnamon functions similarly to a key. Opening the door to let sugar in could be utilized as energy rather than around in your bloodstream, where it damages. One study's participants, over 60 people who took cinnamon every day, displayed a significant decrease in both fasting blood A1C and sugar, which are the long-term indicators for how effectively do you currently control your blood sugar. Not all cinnamon is created equal. The type of cassia cinnamon you often discover in supermarkets and Ceylon cinnamon, which is frequently referred to as real Ceylon with cinnamon, is better for your liver and more secure for everyday usage, particularly if you're considering including it in your daily tea or smoothie in the morning. Although let's take a moment to slow down because everybody does not react to cinnamon in the same way. If your blood sugar levels are already elevated, too much of the lower side could cause you to feeling faint or lightheaded. So this isn't about scattering cinnamon over everything, about locating that tiny, consistent quantity that maintains your vitality. And you're a woman I once met has cravings down there. Linda, who is 73 years old, had been fighting off low energy and excessive sugar swings for years because she was afraid to go without a snack in her backpack. She was far from home. After learning about cinnamon, she began using only a half teaspoon of salt. It had been a month since she had her morning tea. She later said to me, "I'm not trembling by now. At 10 a.m., I feel the same as my body isn't collapsing." That's what our goal is: change, not drastic, but constant and not solely focused on sweets. Cinnamon contains anti-inflammatory properties that could alleviate stiff joints, enhance blood flow, and possibly provide protection. Age-related changes in brain function particularly crucial while attempting to remain agile, intelligent, and self-sufficient in your 70s and 80s. So if a bottle of cinnamon is peacefully seated in your kitchen, it might be time to remove the spice rack. You don't have to change your life going forward upside down. All you have to do is begin where you are using what you now possess and use it for fenugreek's second function and its action as a blood sugar sponge. Perhaps fenugreek wasn't the first herb you consider in relation to regulating blood sugar. However, this little for centuries, seeds have been utilized, particularly in traditional cultures where people continue to be active and age gracefully. What makes fenugreek so effective? Well into their 80s. Its high soluble content makes it so special. fiber that functions internally as a sponge. Your stomach slowing down the rate at which sugars are and facilitating your body to digest food without requiring a lot of subsequently spike. But the magic don't stop at fiber-rich fenugreek alone. Includes substances known as trigonelline. And for the benefits of hydroxyurea for your pancreas more effectively release insulin, which is particularly beneficial if your insulin response has slowed down, which occurs organically as people age, even if you've always made an effort to eat healthily. Like gently nudging your system enough to restore equilibrium without overpowering it. A lot of fenugreek users begin by after soaking the seeds for a whole night and drinking early in the morning. Some people crush the seeds and add a tiny quantity into yogurt or soups. It contains a noticeable, rather bitter flavor, although when utilized correctly, it blends in perfectly. Consistency is key to fenugreek's effectiveness. Greatest when it's integrated into your routine, something minor you carry out each day like having a shower or brushing your teeth stroll. I recall a fellow named Harold who was 76 years old and fed up with feeling like he required a snooze following each meal. His blood sugar levels were gradually rising, and he didn't want to begin taking medicine right away. He tried a teaspoon of fenugreek each morning in warm water. After a few weeks, he informed me, "I still like eating. However, I no longer feel like I'm dragging the remainder of the day." The power of making a wise change rather than a dramatic makeover is another advantage. Worth note that fenugreek may reduce LDL, lower triglycerides and cholesterol, which frequently rise in tandem with blood sugar problems. It's a tactful method to assist your entire metabolic system, in particular crucial for those of us who are viewing both our energy levels and quantities. If you're thinking about experimenting with fenugreek, simply take care to ease into it since it may cause some initial digestive adjustment, particularly if you start with too many tiny ones. Let your body adjust, and as always, consult your physician just to be certain you're taking medication. No communication. However, if you're searching for something easy, secure, and natural to incorporate into your everyday schedule, fenugreek could be your silent ally. You've been failing to consider whether you're still viewing this video and discovering these excellent insights. Kindly provide the comment number 2 below to inform me of your presence, and in case you haven't signed up yet, I advise you to sign up and activate the bell to ensure that you don't miss any of your support, which enables us to keep producing quality material to educate and motivate you. Right now, let's proceed to the third step, cinnamon. And cinnamon, which gently mimics insulin, isn't limited to baking. It has a peaceful your body can be hankering after additional power. Then research has indicated that particularly some varieties of cinnamon, in fact, Ceylon cinnamon, can imitate insulin in the body, indicating that it is beneficial. Glucose flows more effectively from your circulation to your cells, where it belongs, and isn't a replacement for natural insulin. But for many elderly people whose sensitivity to insulin is, cinnamon's slowly diminishing value is genuine assistance in day-to-day living. What's the way cinnamon functions in the cells? It enhances glucose uptake, strengthens the insulin receptor function, and possibly aids in reducing fasting blood sugar levels in pre-diabetic individuals and those with type 2 diabetes, which is no easy task. For a spice that you most likely already possess in your kitchen cabinet, cinnamon included decreases the pace at which carbs are broken down in your intestinal tract, which stops the abrupt increases in blood sugar levels that make you drowsy, groggy, or agitated after consuming that mild energy curve. It can significantly alter how the afternoons make you feel, as though you're trapped in a downturn, or remain strong enough for play a card game or take a stroll around the neighborhood. While not all cinnamon is, with friends produce the same kind of cassia cinnamon. Most frequently spotted in supermarkets includes a substance known as coumarin, which in significant quantities may be detrimental to your liver, which is why a lot of health-conscious seniors use Ceylon cinnamon, because it's a little more costly and somewhat less strong in taste, but it's safer for frequent use, particularly if you intend to take it every day for practical purposes only. Usually, half a teaspoon each day is sufficient. You could mix it with muesli, add it to smoothies or to apples, or toast, while others even simmer it in. The best thing about tea is that it feels warm, like medication. Comforting familiarity that you've liked working with your company for years. Prefer 79-year-old Ella Lehner, who resides in the past, Indiana, had a daily mid-afternoon crash that she infused her morning with a hint of cinnamon. 2 things. coffee and her yogurt lunch. After several months, she realized she didn't need her blood sugar levels, and her typical nap numbers were more consistent, she informed me. I never imagined that something so tiny could produce such a consistent impact. This is what we mean by simple everyday decisions accumulating, and for cinnamon, the science, customs, and lived experience feel like everything at once. Direction, it operates gently and safely. Without completely appending your life, holy basil ranks fourth among the most underappreciated herbs that aid in the battle. Holy basil is also used to treat high blood sugar. Known as tulsi, you may be familiar with the term when discussing herbal teas or conventional medicine, but not many recognize the depth to which this plant interacts with stress in the body and blood sugar levels, as well as for elderly where sweets, sleep, and stress are frequently. This small leaf is firmly coiled together. Holy basil doesn't have the ability to be a game changer. Immediately reduce blood sugar levels in the same way insulin or some drugs work. Rather, it aids in controlling the body's stress reaction, especially the question, why is the cortisol hormone important? Due to prolonged elevated cortisol levels, particularly in those over 60, can result in increased glucose due to insulin resistance. Levels of inflammation and belly fat. Burn injury is the type that softly infiltrates, although holy basil has been demonstrated to reduce that hormonal overreaction, which is much more important in aging. When the body's capacity to recovery from stress slows down, whether due to health concerns, disturbed slumber, or simply the erratic rhythm of chronic life, blood sugar levels rise under stress. Even if holy, your diet remains the same. Basil serves as a barrier by nature against that storm, but its advantages don't stop there. It also includes substances such as caryophyllene and eugenol, which have been connected to better increased blood stability and pancreatic function, improved digestion, and glucose levels, all essential for senior citizens to manage diabetes in its early stages or borderline. Several little investigations even discovered that those who used extract from holy basil for within a few weeks was moderate but steady declines in post-meal and fasting blood sugar. The simplest method of delivering into your everyday life is as sacred as tea. The taste of basil tea is slightly sweet and spicy. Taste, and it complements lemon or ginger. Consuming it at night around an hour prior to bedtime could also enhance sleep, which enhances insulin levels. Sensitivity to people who would rather have tinctures or capsules is commonly accessible as well, but see your physician. If you're taking a blood thinner or blood sugar medication, for safety's sake, South Carolina resident James, 82, informed me that he discovered holy basil tea following he received a sampler box from his granddaughter. He initially believed it to be simply another fashionable health tea, but a few weeks after consuming it every day, he observed not only less late-night sweets but better sleep. His fasting sugar levels and desires, they entered a range that was healthier. Without altering his diet in any way, what we learn from holy basil is that this sugar is not simply about what you have in your blood. Consuming food also affects how your body feels. Your cells will resist if you are always tight. The sugar that they should take in, but when the system is calmed down, everything begins to function slightly better. If you're continuing to view this video and discovering these observations are insightful, please leave a comment. Number 4 down below to inform me of you're here, and in case you haven't signed up yet, I advise you to sign up and activate the bell to ensure that you don't miss any of your support, which enables us to keep producing quality material to educate and motivate you. Right now, let's proceed to the 5th dandelion root. When dandelions come to mind, most likely, you picture a tiny yellow. Your lawn is overrun with flowers, but they are buried. There is something beneath that inconspicuous weed. Considerably stronger, a root that has been utilized for many centuries to clean the liver, aids with digestion, and lowers blood. Naturally occurring sugar levels in dandelion roots serve as a liver and natural diuretic stimulant that aids in the body's elimination of surplus glucose in the urine and enhances the liver's ability to process blood sugar, which is particularly crucial for older citizens, as the liver's efficiency frequently deteriorates slowly. The liver is unable to store or release glucose, which causes higher blood changes in blood sugar even while eating. What makes dandelion root healthy? What's especially useful is that it doesn't just conceal the signs of hypertension. Sugar aids in addressing one of the underlying leads to impaired sugar metabolism, which is connected to accumulation of toxins and impaired liver function. In reality, numerous studies have demonstrated that extract from dandelion roots can enhance decrease in fasting and insulin sensitivity. Blood sugar levels in animals and young human experiments are among the most prevalent effects that people experience when using regularly. Taking dandelion root is a lightening, not in a spiritual sense, but of the body. Physically, less water retention is preferable. Digestion as well as a little decrease in blood pressure, all of which are supportive. It can be used to improve overall metabolic health. As a pill, tea, or even roasted form as an alternative to coffee, the tea has a somewhat bitter taste, but that bile is stimulated by bitterness. Liver's production, which helps with the breakdown of carbohydrates and fats in elderly people who are frequently shown to be caffeine sensitive. Dandelion coffee is a calming substitute. I recall that it doesn't interfere with sleep. Receiving a message from Carol 78, who adopted dandelion root in Wisconsin tea after learning about its advantages. She had been struggling with obstinate post-meal years of blood sugar increases following a few drinking it every day before lunch for weeks. Her numbers were not there, she realized. Swinging uncontrollably after eating, and perhaps more significantly, she stated her stomach felt less swollen, and her restroom schedule become much more consistent. For example, if you take diuretics or have it's wise to check for renal problems with your physician prior to using it. Often, but for the majority of senior citizens, dandelion root is a mild, approachable method to help maintain blood sugar equilibrium. Sometimes the most potent strength comes from within. Remedies are not kept in a pharmacy aisles, they're silently developing in your backyard. For decades, the backyard was neglected. We are reminded by dandelion roots that mending is not always available as a pill. It results from re-establishing a connection with nature's rhythm and honoring our body's genuine need to flourish. In closing, there's something incredibly empowering about learning that your well-being isn't so beyond your control that even changes can be made after 60, 70, or 80 years old. Little, organic ones that make you feel better, move more effectively, and live longer. The plants we discussed today are not costly, exotic, or unachievable. Discover a large number of them are already in your house or a quick excursion to the shop away, regardless of whether you're starting to consider your blood sugar levels carefully or you've been taking care of it for years. It's never too late to pick up new skills and give your body the additional support it needs. Occasionally, requesting assistance cannot result in as an additional prescription, but in nature, something mild enough to use on a regular basis but robust enough to create a difference that you could have learned about today. A fresh herb you'd like to try, or perhaps you recall that your body still pays attention to the decisions you make, even decades later, and it's a lovely thank you for being here with us today. We would be delighted if you could leave a remark below and share something you discovered today and how you intend to apply it. Your thoughts are significant in your life to us, so please share them without hesitation. Reading your feedback provides us with excellent inspiration and support. If you thought this movie was entertaining and useful, please share, like, and subscribe. Support enables us to keep producing quality stuff to educate and motivate you. Many thanks for viewing, and we anticipate I'll see you in the upcoming video.